Out on the fringe, if you follow the story back, you find the center. Tracing the edge.
The very first time we went up to the chair, we walked up with the snowboards under our arm, and the lift op says, well, you got to put those on your feet. Rode the chair lift up. It was just a baby chair, and buckled in and tried to go down. It was a disaster, but right from that moment I went, wow, this is kind of cool. I think I want to learn this. I'd been surfing for, 40 years at that point, pretty steadily, every day. It was my whole life. And it was kind of neat to have something else. You'd see the mountain covered with fresh snow and there wouldn't be a track on it or anything. And I really felt like I was in the presence of something holy, it was almost like a religious experience. Felt like I was close to God, just looking, just the sight of it.
Meet Jerry Lopez. When Brian Smith and I got this assignment from Patagonia, the first question that popped in my mind was, what the hell is a surfer who pioneered pipeline in Indonesia's G-Land doing in the middle of Central Oregon's desert? But then again, the word typical has never come to mind when talking about this 61-year-old legend.
Surfing has been a huge part of my life for a long, long time. Over the last 50 years. There's something about surfing that's, there's a spirituality about it that is always there. There's a really a strong connection to nature. If you want to be close to it, all you have to do is just open yourself up to it. And that's how I feel at this point in my life, that every time I go out there, it's just, oh man, yeah, this is what it's all about. It's like going to church, it's more than going to church. It's like going to heaven. Bend is 185 miles from the nearest ocean. So that's a good, 3.5, 4 hour drive to go surfing. I think for the first 3 years, I never even went to the coast. Surfing's, really been my foundation for pretty much my whole life. And even though I don't get in the water as often as I once used to, I think building surfboards keeps me really connected when I'm not at the beach. And when I do go to the beach, I have a much higher level of appreciation. And it really doesn't matter what the surf's like. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to have a good time. But snowboarding was different, it was just, it was the whole mountain scene and snow. I'd never really had much experience with snow, and I just loved it. I loved the space, the air, the freshness of it.
In 1993, Jerry and his wife Tony drove through Bend. They'd already been bitten by the snowboard bug at this point, and Ben spoke to them. Jerry managed to sniff out every wind lip and powder stash at Mount Bachelor. They bought a house, transitioning back and forth between Hawaii and Oregon, forgoing the winter's steady waves to snowboarding more than 100 days a year.
The thing that was so appealing about snowboarding was that it was like it never ended, it wasn't like a little short wave. You go from the top of the mountain to the bottom of the mountain, making one turn after another.
What finalized that transition away from Hawaii was something many of us can relate to.
I'm Alex Lopez. I'm 20 years old. I live in Bend, Oregon, and I snowboard.
I mean, growing up, the surf scene in Maui, has some appeal to me, but as a surfer, but as a parent, it was something that the more I thought about it, the more I wanted to avoid it.
Jerry put his energy towards his family and snowboarding. He left the ocean for Bend and its good schools, mountains, and snow. And by giving up that daily connection to the water, Jerry gained one of the ultimate joys in life: getting to hug cliffs with his 20-year-old son. Music today comes from Publish the Quest, off the album The Threads. Check it out. Patagonia makes this project possible on so many different levels. Their ambassadors and field testers are more than just athletes. They are thinkers, activists, and dreamers with a vision of modern adventure. The good people at Patagonia not only support their passions, they share them. To learn more about the ambassadors, visit patagonia.com.